And welcome back to the Cynthia Manion Show. Tonight, we're excited to welcome back a very special guest, this time for in-depth solo conversation. Jessalynn Taker. Sound familiar? You may remember her from the Cynthia Manion Show, June 25th, 2025. There we are, having fun at the end of the show. There she is in the far top left corner. Do you see that beautiful smile? The replay is available on YouTube, and please subscribe. Jessalynn is the owner and therapist at Egoscue in North Palm Beach. We are excited to have her back. She specializes in the Egoscue Method, a powerful approach to relieving chronic pain, restoring posture, more on that, and improving movement. It's amazing. With more than 17 years experience and her own, unfortunately, personal journey of overcoming a debilitation pain, Jess brings genuine empathy to everyone she meets and expertise to every client she serves. Known for her straightforward, personalized approach, she's amazing. I did a session with her. Jess helps everyone from everyday movers to elite athletes reconnect with their bodies and reclaim their strength and enjoy active, pain-free lives. Tonight, she'll share some insights about why alignment is key to lasting change and how anyone can begin their path to healing and enhanced performance. Let's welcome Jess Taker. Woohoo! Thank you so much for being with us today. I'm so happy to have you back. It's amazing. It's amazing. I can't wait to learn more stuff from you. Jess, for those of you new, can you please share your personal journey with the chronic pain and how Egoscue Method transformed your life?
Sure. For me, it began 17 years ago when I joined my husband at the office. And the journey really became because I was an athlete myself. And I had my own ups and down challenges as an athlete where I just said, oh, that's because I worked too hard or I did this. And then when my husband took my photos for the first time, I could see my own body's positions, or mispositions is probably the best word. And then I had a lot of realizations that we had the plans for a family. And the only way for that to happen was for me to carry those children within me. And I just really knew at that moment that I needed to change what was going on with that body and make it a better body so that I could do that marathon called birth. And with my births, they were beautiful. I carried 3 beautiful sons with the Egoscue Method helping me all the way. And then right at the end, my body just gave out. And so this was now 7 years ago after my last son's birth. And for me, I had breakdown just like everybody else. I thought, that's it. I'm done. What am I doing? How can I help myself and others if I'm broken, right? But then I looked at my body again. I reached out for support to the people in my own community and said, I need help. And I know that we can fix this. And we did. My pelvic floor had given up. So for all those women struggling with that, there is hope. I had separation in my abdominal wall so that, again, that's someone telling you another surgery. But through Egoscue and doing simple movements that I'm telling you were so physically hard for my body, but so simply done, I transformed my body back into this magical being that it is. And now I'm biking 200 miles down to Miami with no problem. And then I'm thinking, oh, I'm turning 50 soon. What am I going to do next? So I just had this support. So for me, the journey was up and down, but I never gave hope that my body wasn't able to fix itself given the right tools. So we came tonight to talk about what Egoscue is.
And what exactly is Egoscue Method and what sets it apart from other physical therapies?
Egoscue is a therapeutic exercise technique. So we look at the body as a whole unit and we see how it's stacking up, and then we simply treat it through positional movements. So we help your body realign the whole structure and help re-educate the whole structure through something as simple as laying down or putting yourself against the wall, but always looking at what we call posture, right? So in our world, it's all about your posture. We look at everybody's different ailments when they come in, and then we say, what is the posture telling us? You're just a little bent and we need to get you straight again. So Egoscue's a technique, a therapeutic technique that's been around 53 years now. So it's not something that we just created and we didn't create it ourselves. It's been a method. It's been proven through Stanford. They studied us at one point, right? Just to see, what are we doing so different than other people? We're not physical therapists. We're not chiropractors. We're not yoga instructors. We're postural alignment specialists. Looking at your posture.
Do you hear a resounding theme here of ask? Our last guest, Crystal Dwyer Hansen, had the book on ask, and here Jess reached out and asked for help when she was getting ready to have her family, and asking to see if when was the last time you asked if your posture was in alignment? I know, I thought mine was perfect, and guess what? Woo! Jess will tell you about that. So how personalized are Egoscue exercises, and why is it customized? Why is it so important to be customized in your method, like to me and to other people watching the show?
Well, yes. What we do is personalize the sequence that you're going to get. So we do have about 600 exercises in our arsenal that we're going to address the body and positions. And through the therapy, we get educated as to what's the right exercise for you. But while we're going through the therapy process, we're actually asking you. So the difference between us and a physical therapist, for example, a physical therapist we'll just use the scoliosis that popped up on the screen. They have set exercises. This is what I do for scoliosis, A, B, C, D. That's the box that they live in. Where with Egoscue, we're looking at your whole structure and how it's positioned and how it's moving, and what part do I need to address first and what part is next. So I may be changing the upper body, I may be changing the lower body, but we're creating that sequence that's right for you, utilizing some of the AI in our software, because it now analyzes the body and helps us educate the clients as well as figure out the right positions and what the client needs. So we're personalizing it and saying the scoliosis is the pull of the spine in one direction or out of the direction that it should be of certain number of degrees. But why? Why did it do that? What part of the body is out of position also that may be causing that pull? And normally it's coming from a hip and pelvic position that they're out of alignment or in rotation. So we've got to look at that whole structure and then say, from there, where do we move first? We do some functional tests to ask the client, what do they feel? How are they seeing their body? What makes them feel good? We use all that data to figure out what the best route is for them. Because 10 people can have scoliosis, but we can treat it 10 different ways and provide that personal what they need at that moment to make the changes that they're looking for, and ultimately to get the goals that they want. Because you're not going to do something like this, the simple exercises, unless you have a why driving you forward to it. So my why was my kids, right? And my body and my life and what I wanted. And a lot of times when you're in chronic pain, which is a lot of the people we see, you start having your why taken away from you. It's no longer fun.
So, can you walk us through exactly what happens? Because I was kind of a guinea pig. I wanted to know more about the Egoscue method when we got off our session last time. And so we
Yeah.
were just fooling around, and I'm like, okay, let me be the guinea pig because I thought I had perfect posture. My mother always took her fingernail, went down my back, and said, Cynthia, sit up straight. So I would sit up straight, and I seriously thought my posture. Is everyone sitting up straight now? Like,
I think so. We all did. We all did.
we all went, oh, yes. Do you remember your mother or your father or someone, your ballet teacher or someone in school saying, don't slouch, sit up straight? Helps with digestion. It helps with everything. So let's see this magic that Jess has.
Right. So when we look at a body, remember, guys, we're going to look and we'll talk about posture. When we think about posture, we do think, like Cynthia was saying, we think about how we can walk with a book on our head. We can think about, a string pulling us up. But if our muscles and bones are not in the right position, no matter how hard you pull on the string to pull up, or you walk as evenly with the book not falling on your head, you might be out of position and you don't even know it. So most of the time when we see a client for the first time, just like we did with Cynthia, we kind of poked holes in what she thought was posture. For us, posture is alignment of the whole structure. So when you look at it, you should have your ankles, your knees, your hips, your shoulders, your ears, all in alignment. So much that there's no difference, right? So the body will look symmetrical. Both sides of you will be symmetrical. Your shoulders will be level. Your ears will be right on top of your shoulders. So for us nowadays, think about the position that we're starting to get into because we're on computers, right? Little movements make big changes all through the body. So when we look at posture, we're going to go, how is the body all aligned? And when I got the opportunity to speak with Cynthia and show her hers, she was convinced, and I hope I'm not speaking for you, but just convinced that she had amazing posture. And she is a very, very elegant woman. So I do not want to say that she does not look good. But I said, what do you want? I want to do this. I want to do this. I want to have this life and that. And as you age, if one part is out of position, it can cause problems all through the body. So for us at Egoscue, most of the time, people don't know where they are till they see it. They don't know how they feel till they actually get inside and feel it. And then ultimately, they have to take the chance and the commitment to do something for themselves and make the changes. So ultimately for Egoscue too, if you don't want to do any stretches or you don't want to do simple movements, it won't be the right fit for you. But if you're like, I'm done, I'm ready, or I want that life up there, then I've got to start somewhere. So Cynthia, is this where I can ask for your photos if that's okay with you?
Absolutely, because I want to be my best self for the next 113 years or so. So
longevity
Kevin,
is.
are you sitting up straight now? Kevin, how's your posture?
Yeah.
Check this out.
I'm telling you guys, I didn't know. I was in my 20s when I started here. And I thought I'm athletic and I can do pull-ups and push-ups and run. But I was like, how am I going to even hold a baby inside of me? Or how is my head on straight? So Cynthia, if it's okay, we'll take you off and we'll show just the front view if we can, so that we can see, oh, it's between us, even better. Guys, so this is what I'm saying. When we look at the body, everything should stack into alignment. Now, remember, Cynthia and I were not intentionally taking these photos to share. So we didn't put makeup on and we didn't get all dolled up. We were just kind of playing around, and I was curious, where is her body at? And she had some injuries in the past 30 plus years ago that I said, I can still tell they're there. And it was going, my injury on the right leg, Jess, I injured it. I broke it. I should not have that leg. Like, it's still intact. I asked every surgeon and everyone to do the best they could. And then now, at this point in her life, she's still modeling. She's still doing acting because structurally she's sound.
Body
But
goes
look,
like, boom, boom.
but look at that body. If you look on that right side, on that right leg, how the hip, knee, and ankle aren't lining up. So see how it starts to pull in, push out, and twist in that leg. And for us, you know, the shoulders, the head, everything should stack up and be this perfect symmetry. But if we were nitpicking, we can see a little difference in Cynthia's hand position from the right hand to the left hand on how it hangs on her body. Now, I did not ever do any modeling, so I cannot claim, but I do know that sometimes for a picture, you have to get out of position. But when for this picture, she was trying to go as straight as she could. So we're going to show her left side so you can see each time we take the left, the right, the front, the back. And now for Cynthia, remember, she was feeling that I was tall and long. And I said, but the hands are coming forward and your shoulders are coming here. And that's not going to help our breath. That's not going to help us get strong so that we can speak louder. We can command an audience when we're collapsed here. That's also closing off different energy lines, right? She does look pretty symmetrical. I'll agree, Grace. I'm nitpicky. Now, if I drew a line, which we can't do here, but we go ankle, knee, hip, you can just see a little flexion in her knee. Now, she's not terrible. We'll go to the right side just so we can see the difference. Now for us, I don't know if you're going to be able to see the difference here, but when Cynthia and I drew a plumb line, we could tell that the hip and the shoulder on that right side had come forward of the line. So it might be hard for you guys to tell, but again, this shoulder rounding. So guys, even if you sat at home and you just took your shoulders gently forward, just a little bit, I can feel that tension that it puts in my back. And we're ladies. I know not everyone on here is a lady, but we don't want dowager's hump. We do not want that at all. So we want our shoulders back and open. And ultimately, there's just this little hinge, which might be hard for some of you to see, but it's just a shift in that where you actually can see at her elbow, she starts to bend. Because the arm should actually drop right down to her side and be even, and her middle finger should be right on the seam of her pants. So ultimately, guys, this thing on the top, now it's hard to see in this picture, but there's just this slight forward. Now, I don't know about you guys, but I geek out on posture. Cynthia, I apologize. I'm off on my own tangent. But you go, this head can weigh up to 60 pounds depending on where you position your head angle. So the more that it comes forward and down, the heavier it gets and the more pressure it puts on your cervical spine. So for us humans, that's a lot of pressure on a couple different vertebrae. And then that pressure has to go down the body, into the hip and pelvis, down to the foot. Everything's connected. And then we're going to look at Cynthia's back view because we don't want to leave anything out. So we'll go to the back. Similar, right? In the sense you can see that right leg starting to come in, the foot coming out of the line. She was standing what she felt like was straight, but if you looked at some of the pictures, that right foot was a little bit forward. It's nitpicky on our end, but it shows us that there's a pelvic rotation. The body is not symmetrical, and even. And I know Cynthia and I talked about this, but as a woman, if we carry a bag on one side or we carry a kid on one side, we just start changing. And it takes, these aren't the right numbers, but it takes enough repetitions. You can put 100 in your mind, 100 repetitions of carrying my purse on one side and dropping it, dropping it, dropping it. And then ironically, the body remembers it. And then you have a drop shoulder to go stir your pot, go drive your car. It just stays. So there's compensations in the body that we have to take care of to find the root cause. We can say it was the break, but we can say the body healed the break. So now, yeah, Kevin.
Nice, Kevin. Good
Now
alignment.
we'll take Cynthia's photos away.
Yeah, well, do you want to put up all four and compare?
Yeah, for sure.
Eric, please.
Okay, so guys, when we look at the body and go, it should line up, it should stack. Now, I would be the picky one because I'm the posture girl, right? And going, ultimately, both hip positions should be even. So when you look at the side view, I'm a lady. We want just a little nice butt, right? Because that tells us pelvically where we're positioned. But we also want to make sure that the diaphragm under the ribs is not a stabilizer overpowering the abdomen, overpowering the pelvic floor, and her side view should run nice and even. And the software is now starting to analyze the spine. So the beauty of Egoscue is it has evolved so much over the 17 years that I've been here. We used to draw these beautiful pictures of you and take them with a ready camera. Now the AI software is analyzing you so that you can see. Yeah, so that you can see how you're standing. But guys, we're going to take Cynthia's photos away and just come back to me for a second, Eric, if you can. Because yes, guys, I have to say, I told Cynthia, listen, I could talk for days and I could show you. And we all have little things that annoy us enough that we want to change them. We want to be able to walk. We want to be able to run. We want to be able to bike as long as we can. We don't want someone telling us we no longer can do that because our body hurts. So I told Cynthia what we have to do, and this is the part I love, is we have to feel it. So Cynthia is going to come back on and we are going to actively go through like an assessment so that you guys at home can also experience this. So we have you standing up. So if you have a blank wall, just like Cynthia does, or if you need to because you're just not up to it or your body just doesn't feel right when you stand, it causes too much pain, sit, right? Everything we're going to talk about, if you're sitting, you're just going to imagine yourself on your sit bones and where they are, and you'll take yourself off the chair and just have your feet flat against the ground so you can feel it. Because it's amazing how it goes. I know. See, this is the posture, right? And that right hip rotates out. Okay, so Cynthia, what we're going to do is we're going to do our first assessment. So I'll ask some questions and then you just feed back to the audience. And audience, feel free to feedback also. Like, tell us how you're feeling during these things. So the first one is you're going to stand up. You're going to gently kind of put your feet in a neutral position, whatever that is for you. So if you want, you'll just stand and have your feet wherever they want to go. And if you think you posed, take a second and march in place so that you don't, and then stop. And let your feet stop wherever they want. So what you want to do is take a second to look down. So you want to look down at your feet. First, notice, are they straight ahead? Notice if they're not, they might look like a duck. There might be one in front of the other. So Cynthia, do you mind telling us where are your feet when you stopped?
Actually, they were pretty good. The left one is a skosh off the diamond, but other than that, they're perfectly on my thigh.
I love it. I love it. Now, for everybody else, just notice. Now, what you want to do is close your eyes unless you are having any vertigo symptoms, and that is not a good idea to close your eyes. But you want to close your eyes and get in tune with the pressure in your foot. See if you can feel if there's more pressure forward, there's more pressure back, there's more pressure on one side or the other. So, Cynthia, is there more pressure on the left or the right foot?
A little more on the left.
Perfect. And is there more pressure forward or back?
I think it's pretty symmetrical, but when you say it, I slightly move a little forward and slightly move.
You might actually move where I'm moving, so that's okay. And now I put Cynthia against a wall because the one thing or the hardest thing for us to understand is how a body might be rotated and how that rotation might affect things happening. So if you guys are available to a wall, a door, or not, just something if you were close enough to it, we'll put Cynthia back. And then what we want to notice when the heels are back, butt's back, shoulders back, head will only go back if it can. Do not force your head back. You want to go now, scan up your body like you're an x-ray, right? Scan up your body and notice the calves if they're touching. The equal or not equal if the hips or the butt. Now I have a bigger booty, so sometimes people will say, well, that's pushing me off the wall. It might be, but your shoulders should be right above your hips. So your shoulders should be on the wall, or if you can feel your scapula, how they are on the wall, and then notice if your head is on the wall. So for most of us, there might be a twist. So Cynthia, are both your calves against the wall, or is one off?
Negative. My left calf is against the wall. My right calf is not.
And how about those right or left hip? And sometimes you might have to shift and push one back or forward just to notice, right? If they're touching, because we might not know. It's a first.
Both are touching.
Perfect. All right. And how about the shoulders? Do you feel like both are on the wall, or are they, Cynthia had to drive today, so it might be, are they coming forward, or do you feel this is your scapula way back here, right? Looks like a wing. Sometimes you feel just the scapulas and you don't feel the rest of your upper back on the wall. What do you feel, Cynthia?
If I focus on it, I can put my scapulas down, but to put my entire shoulder again, I have to unalign. So,
right.
So no, I cannot. And I did drive for 4 or 5 hours today.
Yeah, and it can make a difference. And now we just have to combat it, right? And do something. And how about the head, Cynthia? Does it feel like it can come back, or does it have to force?
The head is against the wall gently.
Perfect. Okay, guys, so this is just for you to notice, because some of you might physically be off the wall on one side or a hip off the wall. The calf not touching does tell us that there is that right hip is in a bit of a rotation, because your calf should touch. Now, on a preface with Cynthia, because of the injury, there might be a calf definition difference. So when we see her in person or on video, we might be looking for that measurement to see the difference so that we don't misconstrue something for something else. All right, guys. But since this is the Cynthia Manion Show and we're going to live outside of the normal box, we got to feel it. That means we got to do 2 exercises so that we can see what it does for our bodies. So Cynthia, you're going to step off the wall just 1 step. Guys, when we put our feet forward, you're going to do both feet facing forward, the outside of your feet straight ahead. So it might be a slight pigeon-toed for most of us. Your feet are going to be roughly fist width apart between your ankles or your heels. You don't have to go down there. You can just kind of look down. And then you'll gently, if for any of our hyper extenders or knee lockers, you would just bend your knees just a little, but you do want them straight. I'm going to show you guys golfer's grip. so it looks like a karate chop, so that your thumbs are extended out and you're bent. If this is not possible because of carpal tunnel or anything going on, put your hand in a fist without your thumb inside so you can bring the thumb out. Or if it's even not possible for that and you want to extend your fingers wide, you'll do that. We're going to do what's called standing arm circles. So feet straight ahead. Gently let your hands go down to your side, Cynthia. You'll put your hands in that golfer's grip, thumb facing me. And then you're going to extend your arms out to the side. Gently squeeze your scapula. Now, if you feel your traps tighten, you're going to drop your arms down. And then you're going to rotate your arms forward towards your thumbs towards me. And you're going to keep your scapula squeezed. And you're going to go a little bit fast so you can feel your body oscillate just a little bit. And again, if you're in your chair, you can just sit up tall and do this. So you're going to squeeze and circle your arms. Good. And make sure you're breathing, because it's amazing how much we hold our breath. And there will be somebody on the show talking about breath. So please stay tuned. Cynthia and I were saying that will be amazing.
Amazing.
All right, and two more. 1, 2, and then drop your arms down, kind of shake it out if it was a lot for you. Then you're going to bring your arms up, rotate your thumbs back, squeeze the scapulas, and circle up and back. Good. Again, 9-inch dinner plate, roughly. And notice how exhausting this is, right? This is working right into that shoulder girdle and asking your upper back to open up as we change. And gently relax your arms down, Cynthia. Thank you so much for demoing that. Shake it out. And guys, we have one more. So now that same golfer's grip, this is called standing elbow curls. You're going to do that same golfer's grip. You're going to place your hands right on your temple, right next to your eye, not in your eye. So again, if you have your fingers, you'll put your fingertips here. If it's your fist, you'll put your fist here. But you might want to watch, because when you do this, you're going to extend your elbows out as wide as you can. Then you're going to rotate and touch them together. So you're just rolling right on your knuckles. And you want to breathe in, and we're going to open and close. What you might notice, it might be hard. For our people who work out, train in the gym, sometimes we'll say we're tight. But this is a movement in your scapula that should be a healthy movement for your body. And it might be restricting some other things. Because the muscular system, guys, runs from your head to your toes, and it's all connected. So one of the biggest myths at Egoscue, or people like to say, why hands like this? When we were doing it straight, it actually locked your elbows in, and then we'll let your arms drop down. This position, we're trying to limit the motion in your wrist. So when you go in and out, we don't want your wrist to bend, meaning we want the motion to come from your upper back and shoulder position and not our wrists or elbows. That's a great question, Grace. Thank you. And then relax your arms down. Now, guys, I have to say this. For some people, those could have been really challenging, really hard, and not the right exercises for you. That's why we do the personal, Cynthia, because we do have to find the right ones. But these are great ones for people to feel. So, Cynthia, take a second. And if you want to, take a deep breath in and exhale out. And then check in with your feet. Because for most of us, we find that it evens things out. The weight on one side is now even. So tell us, Cynthia, how do your feet feel? Where are they on the ground right now?
Actually, it's amazing. I feel like possibly I'm just standing on sand or floating slightly.
Isn't it amazing?
Amazing. I had nothing to do with my feet. I didn't even think about them or move them the entire exercise.
That's where you need a lot of the Cynthia. where the pain is not always the source of the problem, but also it might not be where your body needs to change. Because if you think we only did upper body movements, but your feet transformed. And for those grounders out there, right, the ones that love to walk on the earth, don't you want to be hitting it evenly? Don't you want it actually to feel the ground as if it's a cloud? Not a painful, my plantar fasciitis hurts kind of walk. Now, Cynthia, let's try it. I mean, we're going live for all live experiences. We got to step back. We got to see you against the wall and go, now it may be the same, right? But what we want to do is do that same scan. Put my heels back, put my butt back, put my shoulders back, put my head back, and notice what was there before, right? Like the calf. Is it any closer on that right calf, Cynthia?
It is touching.
So unexpected, guys. We don't do this like before. We just do it live for you. So
It never touched.
I know. So, right?
Wow.
We were wondering.
I didn't know it could.
Yes. Right? We were wondering, was that hip in rotation? Was I right?
Woo.
And I don't want to be right all the time, but you go, now, Cynthia, with the shoulders, remember how you said what you had to do was, I think it was a wide arm movement to make those shoulders back.
I have way more scapula and shoulder on the wall now. Now, this part isn't on the wall, but the back part is definitely the upper top is on the wall.
So this is the cool part of, going, how crazy. Now, remember, all I do is look at posture and the alignment of the body. So when I looked at Cynthia's, I chopped it, right? And I didn't chop it in a bad way. I wasn't trying to hurt Cynthia's feelings, but I knew what she wanted as a goal. And I said, okay, if you want that, then this needs to be in this spot. If you want this, this needs to be in this spot. And then once we started doing things, look, it's all different. It's so amazing.
Record it so I can watch it every day.
Yes, I mean, record it, watch it again. And for all of the people that were doing it in the chair, notice this is where Egoscue sees people who are 2 years old. And now I'm in South Florida, so Cynthia, so I'm in the heart of the older demographics for Egoscue. And our oldest client to date is 98. Now, he didn't see us because he did something or had something. He just said, if I fall down there, I want to be able to get back up. And I want to dance with my wife till I'm done. And he danced with her till he was done. And that's the reason why he wanted to come in. Oh, I love it. Okay. Well, that concludes our Feel It. I really hope if you want to come back to me, I'm going to kind of talk to you guys and go, listen, there are little tips, but first you have to notice where your body is. Where is it? What am I? How am I contributing possibly to it? And ultimately, a surgery if it happened, a fall if it happened, like myself, I had children. That wasn't that I didn't plan that. I had that planned. I had that beautiful journey that I wanted. And in the end, my body just said, and I'm done. So guys, there are so many things that we can do, but first things first, you have to be aware. You have to look at your body and say, this is one unit. This is one human body that I get. How am I treating it? Am I treating it well? Am I taking care of it? Am I recovering? And what am I doing to make sure that it's balanced for longevity wise? So for me, guys, the biggest tip is awareness and saying, hey, this is not where I wanted to be. What can I do different? It may be finding someone like myself, but first you might need to go, hey, where am I? And where am I in my journey? And you're not broken. At Egoscue, we just think you're a little bent. So we've just got to get you a little straighter. So I think Cynthia and I are going to talk a little bit more. Woohoo! We're going to talk a little bit more. So, guys, that was fun. I love it. Thank you, Cynthia.
No, thank you. So if we did that in one little session and this little session on a Zoom from miles and miles apart, I can't even imagine. I should be able to fly after a few sessions, right?
Oh my gosh, yes.
So what advice would you give to athletes who are continually dealing with reoccurring injuries? I did this skiing, actually.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, most of the time we have to look at what our sport is doing for a demand on our body. So back in the day, Egoscue was only located in San Diego. And now we're all across the US and actually overseas in Japan. So when you look as an athlete, you got to look what the body is getting into or position wise. I was an athlete also. I played field hockey, right? So that put us in a hunched position, rotation, and a dropped hip. I also went to a chiropractor when I was 18 because I was claiming back pain. Now, I didn't know Egoscue back then, but for athletes, you got to go if the body is getting stuck in one position or similar positions every time, right? Golfers swinging through only one side. Most of us are not ambidextrous and can golf on the other side of our bodies. Then we need to do a rebalance. You got to look because a lot of times we're like this, Cynthia, like, I'm stretching, right?
And that's like nothing.
It's moving your arms. I love it. It's moving our legs. Now we could feel a muscle stretch, but then if we don't feel that grounding, that rebalance that you felt, it didn't change what was out of position to make that tight muscle or get that muscle stuck. So for my athletes, we got to look at their sport that they're doing, the repetitive movements that they're putting themselves into, and then how they're recovering. Because if they're not going back and saying, I can balance this body. So our beginning athletes, one of our first and well-known, Jack Nicklaus, golfer, right? So Pete, who is our original founder, walked onto the course, saw Jack, and Jack was signing himself out of a game. That's what I've been told. At match, sorry, I'm not a golfer particularly, but Pete said, give me 20 minutes. Let me give you some exercises. He gave him exercises. He got him to finish the game. He did ultimately get that hip replaced, but it was a long time after. And it was because he wasn't balancing his body, right? Golf is putting a rotation in his body and it was stuck and he needed to balance it. So for most of the athletes, you got to have that recovery. What are you doing so that you're going at the sport the most effective? So,
And you have a lot of public speakers and famous people also that are already using this.
we do. We do. One of the biggest ones is Tony Robbins. We love Tony. I mean, he has been a client with Egoscue. Oh gosh, I think it's over 30 years now. And he loves Egoscue, and so much that he actually brings us to some of his events and has us talk on stage just so that we can expose others about the method. Because really, it's just having that moment of going, what is this? How can it help me? And what do I want? And how do I see my body, right? And so there's Tony Robbins. There's a bunch. There's a bunch. I love it.
It's amazing. So how long do we do that for, Eric? Like 20 minutes, less, 15, 10?
I think we did that maybe 15 minutes. The exercises themselves, Cynthia?
Yeah, right now.
5. Probably
5 minutes.
5
5
minutes.
minutes, and I can feel it. You can easily find 5 minutes in your life to put yourself back in alignment.
Yeah.
So what's the best way for someone to proactively maintain alignment and prevent pain, especially as they age?
I would love to say, find me, right?
Yes,
Of course. I will be,
we didn't have any magic or voodoo on this. She actually did that to me, and my calves actually touch, and they haven't touched, I don't think, since I was in my 30s.
I would say ultimately there are so many ways to find an Egoscue practitioner or Egoscue clinic. There are us all around the US. We're in North Palm, which is in South Florida. But the cool part is if you go to the Egoscue website, you can actually chat with the live chat and give them your diagnosis of whatever's happening with you and actually have it feed back some suggestions for you, or what you can actually take your photos and upload them right to that website.
Wow.
You can email them to me, you can send them, or if you're old school, Cynthia,
Yeah.
I brought this with me because this is one of the original books and the most well read. It's called Pain Free. What's cool about it, I don't know if you can see, and I apologize, Eric, for causing torture, but there are exercises in this book. So you can find someone live, right, or in person if you need a personalized menu, which we always recommend because we have to get that sequence. But you can also try some exercises yourself. So this is called Pain Free. So I brought that with me.
It's funny, a long time ago, Time Life, those books hired me, and I did a series of exercises for people with headaches, as a matter of fact. My mother had huge headaches from a very bad automobile accident in Germany, and it helped. But I sure wish that she knew about Egoscue Method in her day, because I think she would have been less painful.
I think, Cynthia, when we think back, we all had different things. Oh, thank you. That's
there it is.
Yes, thank you, Eric. There is a rewritten version that just came out a couple years ago. I love both of them. They're different. There's different sequences in them. There's different exercises, but it's a great starting point for someone to find out information. But the software that is on the Egoscue website, to me, is mind-blowing. We looked at it as owners, and I was like, wow, someone can upload their photos. It will help analyze it. It will live chat with you and talk to you. And it's just like, where was this? I had dial up and carried a quarter, right? When I was a kid.
So what's been your greatest lesson as an entrepreneur and healthcare provider over your past 17 years? Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I wasn't ready, but I think the greatest lesson as a female entrepreneur is really that we can't give up, right? If we see the dream at the end, if we see what we're doing and how we're making an impact on others, like for me, I could see the impact that I was having with other people's lives and how it was making their lives better and how it was serving me as a human. And I was like, this satisfies my need and my need to help. All the other struggles, if there were any, or what I thought was a struggle at that time, was worth the end result. Because next month, Cynthia, is 20 years with Egoscue. So we've been around this so long, and we've been serving our community and more people. And now with technology, it's just like, yeah, but see your goal and know it might have ups and downs, but if your passion is there, you're going to get there.
And if you do it, would you say every day or?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
every day.
I would every day. So for me, Egoscue became a personal journey and then a journey through life. And it's something that you have to work and you have to work at. So even as a business and entrepreneur, we have to work, right? And as a female, sometimes we think we have to work harder, but we definitely have to see how we're like what we want at the end and go for it.
Yeah, so you saw me do that for 5 minutes, and it's amazing. So you could easily stand up from your computer, your work desk, your TV, when you get out of the car, after you finish your workout at the gym, after you run, horseback, sail, whatever is your joy in nature, and just go, wow, hello. Hello. So what's been the most rewarding moment in your nearly 2 decades of practice?
I know, right? 20 years. Can you
Woo! No.
let's see. I believe it's just been the growth, right? The growth that we've had as people, as humans. And I don't know if we've ever calculated how many people we've helped, but I feel like it's in the thousands at this point, right? And we've been reaching out to people because it's our 20th year and just, talking. And 20 years later, they still remember our names. They still remember they have their papers, right, with their exercises. So to me, that's the biggest gift, that I cannot believe 20 years later that people can remember us and know us. And I just had a client walk in that we haven't seen for over 13 years because we discussed we didn't have children. And he said, "You have 3 now, and I have 1." And I said, "Oh my God, where is time gone?" So it's just the impact, Cynthia, I think, and the number of people, and that they still remember us and still love us.
And they're coming back to us. Don't you want to live your best life forever? I mean,
Well,
really, if you're going to do it, let's
he
do it
said,
right.
I fell off the wagon and I want back on. And I said, all right.
Is there an age or a condition limit to who can benefit from Egoscue method, or is it universally beneficial?
Well, I think it's beneficial to all ages. And if you ask me or any other Egoscue practitioner, I think we would all say everybody needs some part of Egoscue. But when it comes to different age brackets and mobility of the person, that's the beauty of the personalized menu. We can alter it, right? I had said, hey, you can do it in a sitting position for the arm circles. You can do arm circles in a bunch of different positions and demand so that I can make it an athletic workout. I can make it a simple movement workout. I can help somebody who is not able to stand. So we have seen over the years, as young as 2, and we were working on actually hearing loss. So her mom had a chiropractic adjustment and the decibel increased. Now she did ultimately need cochlear implants because there was damage, but the mom lit up and said, I know, I need Egoscue. I need to train. And we actually taught mom how to play with her and crawl with her so that we would get better hip function. So we started in play, right? And then our normal age for us here is about 55 to 65. But then the older, it's just wherever you are, we're going to alter it. We're going to do what we can with whatever you have for mobility. And then we're going to ask that demand to stay.
Something so simple. So what's next for you in Egoscue of North Palm Beach? Any exciting projects, expansions?
Well, we are still expanding in our Tampa area. So we do go there once a month as well as the villages. So we are trying to help maintain the whole state since we're the only ones. And on mine, I'm trying to think. I think I can say this, but it's not quite ready. There is a children's book in the works, Cynthia.
Yes.
So that, parents can have this option to read the story with their child and have them love and experience the child playing in the book and then do the play activities and have them be the similar Egoscue exercises, but in a childlike wonder, right? So it is still in the works, but it is definitely something that I'm passionate about. So I see that coming in the future. So yeah. And then
Make
for
a great Christmas present. I'll take 6. You could start pre-selling. Just saying.
Just saying, right?
You got to make it happen. You got to put a date and do it.
I love it.
I know you got a lot going on this year.
I could be persuaded.
And I'm a great nudger. I can make things happen. So what is the most important message you want our viewers to take away from today's conversation?
I think for everybody, you have a journey. You got to where you are through different ups and downs. So you don't want to disregard those ups and downs. You might have even had injury, but for most of us, when we start living in chronic pain, it becomes debilitating in so many ways. So I hope that you can see hope in your body, and you can see how simply some movements could be that could transform you. And if those weren't the right ones, there are more and there are different ones, but you just got to start. So I hope that people take a chance and Google the Egoscue Method and play around and ask questions or reach out and call, right? Reach out and ask for support, because that's what you need to start with. How
Ask.
can you get help? Ask.
And get that book. And get the Ask book too. Mark
Any.
Peter Hansen and Crystal Dwyer Hansen. And finally, what is one intention you're setting for yourself and your clients this year?
For my clients this year, it's all about transformation. So we're looking at the goals that they're setting and making sure that we are doing all the appropriate things to make that happen. So, for example, I have a client who is an avid golfer. He did tear his rotator cuff, so he did do surgery, right? But he wanted a comeback season. So now, if you're not from South Florida, you might not know there's a season down here. So for him, it was the transition and the transformation. And it's like, I want to light everybody's up. And he, by the end of season, won his golf tournament at his club, which for clubbers, that's a huge, huge deal. So it's going, I want everybody's transformation to happen and their goals to happen. So we're setting them up to win all year long.
My sister and I have a little game that we play to set us up for win. And so this is her t-shirt that she loves, and it says, sink or swim. You can see that.
I love it.
And I love it so much. And what happened is she put it in my suitcase one time when I was leaving her home. Wow, way back when she was the commander in Wyoming and at FB Warren Air Force Base. And then the next time she visited me, I put it back in her suitcase. And then the next time I came back, it was in my suitcase. And then when I went to, now she's in Texas. When I went there, I hid it in her closet with all of these t-shirts. And don't you know, when I saw her in May this year, it came back in my, it came back in a present. And I'm like, oh my goodness. So sink or swim, ladies and gentlemen, it's your life. You're in control. It only takes a few minutes to be your best self. The Cynthia Manion Show, catch the replay where Jess was on June 25th. Share this out. Please subscribe to the Cynthia Manion Show on YouTube. And I will see you next Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, or wherever you are in the universe, for the Cynthia Manion Show. Be good, make wise choices, and check out these simple exercises. I know I'm going to be watching this. I got to figure out how to cut out that piece so I can do this every single day.
I love it.
Oh, yes, Patty, you would love this. Yes,
Thank you so much, Cynthia, and everybody out there. Take the chance, do something for yourself, and make your best self happen. 2025 is your year. Go big.
Because you are amazing. I am amazing. We're amazing. Woo!
Love it.
See you next Wednesday, 7
Bye,
p.m.
guys.
Standard Time. Mwah.